Okay, so to preface this, alright, so I'm going to show you early on in this clip the footage that I was banned over on RoC. And again, I'm going to be able to very easily explain why there was no hacking and why I was unfairly banned. Let's continue.
Capture the objectives.
Okay, I'm going to now jump on that bush. I'm going to look down the left-hand side of that house to catch anyone pushing off the starting spawn. Watch closely. So I go to aim at the guy who's got lightweight. He pulls back as I fire. He's also thrown a grenade. Closely. You saw Ether Freak move right to left to go behind the shed. He's the person I've killed. Because I've killed him there, it's reasonable to assume that at the start of the match, he's going to defend the flag. It's reasonable to assume when he spawns back, he may return there. Now, I point that out for the precedence. Now watch what happens next after I die after the grenade. So I'd be cycling death cams at this point. I'm probably watching Rob's perspective as he pushes in the house. Alright, I've spawned in. Flashes at the enemy spawn. Now, look what Rob's doing. See how his character model is physically on the block where the shrub is. However, his peak vision actually allows him to look down the side of the house. He's doing this to manipulate the spawn. So what this will mean is this could potentially cause someone to spawn both in front of that bush and rear of it, because physically the game is registering he cannot see down the side of the house because of where his feet are compared to where his actual vision is. Now again, watch closely. Now I get a headshot and a hit marker there. Hit marker indicates there is probably an enemy to the rear of that enemy I just killed. Either they're in the kitchen or the garage, or that shot may have hit someone outside of the house. Let's continue. Now, look where my vision is positioned. At the center of my screen, I can see that enemy claymore that is rear of the flag. I've just killed someone at the start of the match who was moving to position behind that shed. I see a claymore rear of the flag. It's reasonable to assume there is going to be someone back there. So what do? I pre-aim, and the second he's in front of my gun, I kill him. Nothing hack related about that. It's just pure deduction. If you've played this game enough, it's not hard to figure out. Unfortunately, Snow didn't see the claymore at the flag, so he's now died. I'm good to pick it up. So, because they'd all just spawned, if I was hacking, why would I not have seen that person who just killed me? Furthermore, look at the spy plane map in the top left. See Rob's still sitting in that same spot. And look, he's killed someone immediately on that spawn wave. In later footage, I'll show you that person spawns in front of the bush. So there is no concealment to prevent that person from seeing him, and yet the spawning in the game still places the enemy directly in front of Rob's vision because it goes off of where the character model's feet are based. Now again, before we continue, I'd still be cycling death cams right now while I'm dead. I'd be cycling death cams. I'd also look at my scoreboard. If you're not already aware, when you pull up the scoreboard pressing tab, if there are purple hearts against a player's name, that means they are dead. That allows you to determine just how many enemies are currently alive. Keep that in mind if you didn't already know that. Okay, I respawn. Again, I'm going to probably push up to mid. I've got multiple teammates in that area on the right hand side, so I'm most likely going to throw concussions to my left hand side in front of the enemy's garage and close to where the fence is to try and catch any enemies that may have just spawned. Hit marker. I flashed someone, most likely in the garage. Easy kill, easy deduction. That flash, or concussion I should say, landed in front of the garage. Either they're going to be internal or they're going to be off to the side. Given how close I threw it to that wall on the right hand there, they're most likely in the garage. Not hard to determine. Here, I pre-fire a spawn that is in the corner of that fence. It's common, makes sense to pre-fire it. There's Rob. The flag's just about to be capped. He's only just passed back halfway. Once again, not following his server rules. And in the later footage, you'll see at this time, he spent most of it in the front lounge room of the enemy building while the flag was halfway. Again, he is a server admin. He's not leading by the example of the rules that are set on the server. But yet he can ban people without effective evidence to back it up. But let's continue.
Enemy flag captured.
So, gunfire to the right. That would lead me to assume there is likely an enemy in that corner spawn, which you'll see me now go to fire on as I step out. So again, pre-fired it, no one was there as I pushed out. I'm now going to place a jammer in front of the house to disable claymores. So, I shoot that enemy as he comes through the door. Now, the guy at the rear there, who I believe is using scavenger, was already pre-aiming. So again, he's going to kill me quite easily here. He's already seen my bullets come through. I won't be able to react in time to finish him. And I went to reload anyway. So again, off spawn. And again, if you're playing Nuketown on these servers, start running concussions or flashbangs. And when you spawn, it is sensible, especially when you know you've got multiple friendlies dominating the midsection or moving up because they're still alive from the previous wave, to flash either left or right of the house. When I flash left, I always try to put them in front of the garage door entry or to the left near the spawns, or I throw them right, but I try to bounce them off the house and land them forward of the front single door entry so that I can catch people in that right hand corner as well, or I will throw them deep on the right hand side to catch people towards the rear of the house. So I threw that first concussion. It's caught the guy who's run out on my left here, so that probably landed in that garden bed. Because I caught him with that concussion, even though he was diving and has that momentum, when he crouches to get up, he won't be able to turn quickly enough to engage me. Again, pre-fired it, expecting him to look. Pre-fired the spawn again. Makes sense too, so when I push up, I know there's no one there. Pre-fire through the smoke. Again, at the spawns, at common locations. Now, I didn't know my teammate was about to pick up the flag when I pre-fired that wall there.
Enemy flag acquired.
Lucky I didn't shoot. Now, flag's gone. I'm running parallel to him underneath. I'm escorting out. I'm moving out of the enemy spawn. I commonly, when moving out of the enemy spawn, as long as I'm ahead of that flag carrier, I'm playing by the rules. I quickly turn around there to check anyone's behind me. Now, when I go to step out here, my teammate over near the bus is going to shoot down the right hand side of the building because there is an enemy there who shoots back. I'll then shoot him through the bush. Now, as I fall back, I'm going to hear enemy shots come across from the opposing side of the house, and I'm going to, in my reaction, strafe jump, trying to use momentum to save my ass because I assume I'm being shot at. I'm going to turn around and then engage that enemy. That same enemy kills my flag carrier because they prioritized him.
Enemy flag drop.
Again, nothing fancy, simply strafe jump, turn around, look straight at where the gunshots are coming from because I can hear them using my headphones. He's now dead. What will I do from here? Will I sit like that person up on the window and try to play the spawns? No, I'm going to go play the objective.
Enemy flag acquired. Enemy flag.
Now, I fell back into my half. I'm not sitting looking at spawns, so can't accuse me of spawn camping. I wait for the flag to be capped before I push back up.
Captured. Dogs incoming.
Now, at this point, we've got an SR up. If you don't understand how SRs work, it's very simple. When the players, the red arrows, or whatever you want to call them, triangles, shows where the enemy's facing. If they're faded, the enemy is dead. If they're solid in red, the enemy is alive. Now, my mistake there was I ADS'd as I jumped up onto the platform. That threw my aim off. Again, I shouldn't have got myself killed there. Again, that was poor play on my part. Now again, we've got SR up. I'm dead. I have 4 teammates up who I can be cycling through to see their perspective and hear all the audio they get. Now, I keep bringing this up because some of you clearly don't use headphones and don't hear things directionally. I'll give you an example of a common player I can tell doesn't do this who plays on the servers. I'm not picking on you, but Bakes. Bakes is one of the Aussie players. I've played against him heaps. I think Bakes is capable of playing better, but there are times where I clearly watch him on my def cam. He clearly does not use headphones because there are times where I can clearly hear enemies not using Ninja in close proximity to him, and I know exactly where they're coming from. He doesn't react or respond to it, and then he dies. Now again, audio is a big thing in this game. It always was. I remember playing this back on Xbox 360 when I first got my set of Turtle Beaches. Completely changed the game for me. I used to just play on a TV with my controller. Couldn't hear everything I can now. Or could after I bought Turtle Beaches. Now, I've thrown a flash at the rear, but the enemies have been killed. I'm shortly going to see that enemy who's in the rear on the SR come across the rear of the flag. I'm going to throw another concussion over. So, I've thrown the concussion. The guy rear of the flag, who's facing approximately towards that single door. Again, what can he do? He's concussed. You all know when you get hit by concussions, it limits your movement. So I have probably 3 core options here. I could step out, already be ADSing and shoot him as I clear the corner of the side of the building. I could, for example, just walk out, and the second I see him, aim at him and shoot him, which I could easily do in this instance. Or I could also just run out, strafe jump, use momentum to fully clear his field of view and his ability to look at me and kill him. Watch what I do. So again, when I killed him there, nothing fancy. He was facing directly at the back wall of the building. There was no way, under a concussion, he was going to be able to turn quickly enough to shoot me. There, I strafe jump out to try and shoot that enemy before he's behind hard concealment. Again, the dog will end up beating me to him.
Enemy spy plane above. Enemy flag.
So again, you just heard enemy spy plane above. Enemies can see me on the map right now. I'm using flak jacket. But also too, on the SR, I can see exactly where they are. So I start pre-firing through this corner to try and hit the enemy who's in the kitchen. I end up only getting a hit marker when I round the corner, but I'm pretty confident I may have hit marked one of the guys who are in the garage. So, you see me pause there. Did you pick up on what I did? I stopped, I swapped to my secondary to increase my speed, and I also reviewed the SR that's up to determine who is actually still alive. Look at the image there. Only the guy in the garage is left. I can also check the scoreboard at this time, which I probably did as well, which would tell me only one enemy is alive. I have visual indicators. I have scoreboard indicators. So again, I swapped my sidearm so I can run faster and clear the area to cap the flag.
We've captured the enemy flag.
Little strafe jump at the end.
Good job, team.
Momentum.
Get ready for next round. Switching sides. Hardcore capture the flag.
So, at the start here, I'm going to go right. I'm going to jump on that bush, and I'm going to pre-aim at the far fence line on the right, which has gaps in it that you can see through.
Capture the objectives.
Now, as Seven steps out and makes himself visible to that side of the house, I'm going to pre-fire that corner just in the event an enemy might press around. Again, it's not hacking. It's not because I fucking could see someone through the walls. It's just common sense that if I pre-fire that, if someone does press there, they'll probably either die or I'll hit mark them. But I'll improve Seven's chances of getting through. So, once they are cleared down the right, I throw concussions left, expecting there'll be enemies in that spawn area. Now, you faintly see that we had a friendly push up the left there, because you see his name disappear.
Enemy flag acquired.
He grabs the flag, he dies. I'm now going to put a jammer on, and then I'm going to run around and attempt to cap the flag.
They returned their flag.
Now, this game, it frustrates me when you shoot certain surfaces on an angle and your bullets don't penetrate. Railings in this game and stairs are a good example. Again, Expired reacted quicker than me. He played this well. He went straight into a drop shot. Again, cleared the obstacle, killed me. Good play. And then whoever heard me shooting, again, strafe jumped out and pre-fired. Again, makes sense. You can hear the gunfire. Utilize momentum to make yourself harder to hit. Now, typically when I spawn here in garage, I do a couple of different things. I'm either going to, in some cases, pre-fire through the closed garage door to try and hit people coming out near fence, because when you walk out of here, you're actually slow to get in position to engage them. Or I'm going to shoot straight through the middle of the truck and try to hit someone who's either going to spawn left of the door that backs onto their flag, or who's going to spawn to the right in the corner of the garage. Now, I took too long to kill the guy in the garage, and I paid for it by getting killed by the guy who would have spawned in the corner near the fence. Not hard. He kept shooting me through the wall to make sure I died. And again, it made sense for him to keep pre-firing, because even though I spawned in the garage, another friendly could have spawned in there right after he killed me and tried to step out and peek. So again, I'd be cycling death cams. Now, because I was cycling death cams, I knew from our teammate who's in the truck that Seven was pushing up on the right. So rather than me immediately go to pre-fire the right hand side where their fence spawn is, because there shouldn't be anyone there, I'm going to throw concussions down the left hand side of the enemy house. Now, the person who was in the truck pushed up into the house. Guess who it is? It's Rob. So he's already pushed into their spawn and engaged people. He's gone up into the house rather than go through the ring and play the objective per the server rules. He has come back, jumped out the window to position himself to watch spawns and kill players as they push off the spawn. It's the equivalent of spawn patrolling and camping. Again, an admin who's supposed to lead by example as far as I'm concerned, because they're the ones who enforce the rules, doesn't follow them. And you even see me spotting him double back. Now, fortunately, he doesn't get to take advantage of this position, because Rob Dog turns back around and shoots him. So, right there, I see the guy run up the stairs. I also see the guy to the right of the shed. Let me pull it back. Let's watch it again. Now, I pause it. I see one enemy to the right of the shed, and I see an enemy above. I don't have effective time to ADS the guy above, but it's a shoot throughable surface. So I'm just going to shoot off the hip and aim to hit him. Again, wasn't hard to track where he would most likely be. I kill him, but I get hit by the guy beside the shed. Now, next what I'll do is, rather than push that door in front of me, because I'm going to assume the guy next to the shed is going to pre-fire me through this wall. So I back up, I jump out. He's not pre-aiming me. I start trying to hit him through that shed. I know that I'm also going to have some form of protection from the stairs here as well, because again, as you saw earlier, when me expired exchange through the stairs, I died because he was smart enough to drop shot and kill me.
We have the enemy flag.
Again, that player, you saw him strafe jump out and kill me. Expired, good play. Expired actually has some game sense about him. Rob Dog's killing us all in our house, I assume. Again, I'd be cycling death cams.
Our flag has been dropped.
Now, our flag had been taken. I've gone to turn around. I've turned back the front once the flag's dropped. So, I flash forward of bus in case we've got enemies there. Doesn't hit anyone. I can assume that if there are enemies left-hand side, they're closer to the garage.
Our flag has been returned.
Deeper. Hit nothing. Enemy there. I see him away. Come back, realizing that there was an enemy there. Don't manage to kill him. Yeah, pretty embarrassing to be honest.
The enemy has taken our flag.
Now, I'm going to jump out at this corner here. I'm not even going to ADS. I'm going to rely on hip fire. I'm going to look straight at the corner. And it's a common spawn, as everyone knows.
They dropped our flag. Our flag has been returned.
Corner. Now, so far in this footage, how often have you seen me play the objective? Have you seen me stop to camp any locations? Have you seen me stop to spawn camp? No, you have not. Again, let's continue.
Enemy flag acquired.
Spray off the hip, get lucky. So again, people don't realize hip fire is actually quite accurate most of the time, if done correctly. When spraying, not so much, but the first few bullets, literally the first bullet is usually the most accurate. Now, anyone who's played me knows that I prefer, when attacking that end, to come back on this side. The reason being is, I've got the fence spawn on my right, otherwise every other spawn's going to be either inside the kitchen, they'll be the next nearest, or to the far left hand side of the house. So I can already predict and deduct that most of the enemies are going to come from the left hand side of the house here. Now, I could pre-fire that white wall where the flag is to try and hit people in that spawn. I typically don't do that because I rely on seeing someone instantly spawn in that corner to determine the wave has started. Again, I can utilize scoreboard to see who's dead and alive, but that's how I would usually approach that. Now, Breakfast is going to do the smart thing here. He's going to load up his Semtex, and he's going to throw it the moment he spawns, because he's going to predict where I am. Now, did Breakfast hack? Fuck no. He just deduced that he probably knew I went left. He may have seen it on death cam. He's expected that I'm going to be somewhere in that vicinity, because he should know if he's played me enough. When I run Flak Jacket, I'm running Ninja, not Marathon, which means I can only run so quickly. And if you weren't aware, when it comes to running between flags, most of these maps, if you're running Lightweight and Marathon Pro, you can run from flag base to flag base in about 15 seconds. Don't believe me? Go fucking try it yourself. And again, that Semtex disrupted my aim. Enemy killed me, stopped me from capping. So, I would have been cycling death cam. I would know whoever returned the flag is most likely going to be in that area when I spawn, but I'm going to expect them to be there either way. So literally 2 to 3 seconds, I'm going to expect there's an enemy there. I'm going to go immediately aim in that direction. You'll see, I see the first body, I aim, realize they're dead because they got the knee up. The second guy I aim at, I kill. It's Rob. Shit concussions on my part. I shouldn't have thrown them like I did. Threw them poorly.
Our spy plane's in the air.
Okay. I was expecting someone to spawn there. There isn't. I'm going to throw a jammer down. Just after, as I place the jammer, I'm going to see my teammates respawn on the spy plane, which means I can safely assume that because there is a solid surface between me and the kitchen, people are most likely going to spawn in front of me.
The enemy has taken our...
So, paused it right there. You saw my friendly spawn. I can almost expect with certainty that when I go to enter that door, I'll see someone in the kitchen, plus there may also be someone on my immediate left.
Plug.
Let alone, someone could have spawned right beside that TV on the wall there. In this case, it's only the guy in the kitchen. I'm going to immediately shoot at him and kill him.
They dropped
Now, I can see red dots on the map. There's at least one other person in the kitchen.
our plug.
I see them step out towards the chimney. Now, unlike someone else, do I jump the rail and go to kill them and kill the next person there? No. I follow the server rules and play the objective.
We have the enemy flag.
So once again, I go left because I know there'll be that immediate spawn at the fence there. Otherwise, the next nearest spawn will be in the kitchen. So I'm hedging my bets that the majority of the enemies are going to spawn that left-hand side of the building. Now, Rob's just succeeded in killing 4 people there. So pretty good chance there's maybe 1 or 2 left. Without me being able to tell, I at least know there's probably 1 in the lounge room. Right, spy plane clears over. Both those dots are gone. Now, watch what I do here. The moment before I swapped to my secondary, I guarantee I would have looked at the scoreboard. I would have seen how many purple hearts there are. I swapped to my secondary knowing that there's probably only 1 or 2. I'm going to grab that flag and prioritize capping it. I'm going to trust my teammates to cover me here.
Napalm strike coming in.
Which in this instance, Rob jumps up in the truck and covers me.
Our flag has been restored. Enemy flag captured.
Now, everyone's just spawned back in. You can see the red dots on the map. You can see where people should be. Ether Freak dies here. Shouldn't have died. Shouldn't have turned his back to mid.
Jam enemy radar.
Now, I'm going to back that up. Watch how accurate the hip fire is for where I'm aiming.
Ready to jam enemy radar.
Look at where the first 2 bullets hit. Effectively where the guy would have spawned. Off the hip. Not hard.
SR-71 online. Cobra
SR just spawned. I can see where everyone is facing. They're all alive.
on the way.
Now, I trusted that my teammates would keep the guys on the left covered, and I didn't expect that the guys on that side of the house were actually going to fall back towards their flag base. I should have been more prepared. And the flag will get returned.
Counter spy plane standing by.
So, still got SR up, dogs are up as well. I'm throwing concussions to where enemies are.
We have the enemy flag.
Enemies are dead, I'm escorting. I will repeat the guy upstairs. Done.
Enemy flag captured.
Now, what I should have done here is shouldn't have engaged the guy externally. I should have killed the guy in the garage because the dog was coming, and then prioritized the guys inside the lounge room. Best way for me to clear the guys in the lounge room would have been to strafe jump out from behind the bus and shoot them in motion. Because I didn't do that and I exposed myself, I died. So, SR still up, boys. Now it's down. Alright. Off spawn, gonna throw the concussions in the same spots as always. I know someone's there per the hit marker. I threw a secondary because grenades went off. Again, I'm going to pre-fire this corner like I usually do because I'm not certain if there's an enemy there or not. Again, how accurate that was.
Enemy flag acquired.
Fuck, didn't even have a clue there was a guy at bunker.
Counter spy plane standing by.
Flashing, takes one,
Enemy flag acquired.
I cover my flag carrier, stay in my half, watch right, watch left, watch right, watch left, So again guys, at the start of the footage, where did I hack? So please tell me, where was I hacking? It was all common sense. Anyway, now I'll show you Rob's perspective. Alright, we're at the start of the round.
Capture the objectives.
So far, nothing wrong until this point. Watch what Rob does. Again, he's in the enemy spawn building. Now, will he play the objective? No. So, what he's doing here is this, and as you saw per the previous footage, while physically his feet are planted in that little garden bed, which visibly, if you weren't peeking, you wouldn't be able to see down the side of the house here. The peek function does not get factored in with spawning. So what he's doing here is he's peeking, and what will happen is if there is enough enemies viewpoints on the left hand side of the house, it will actually potentially force the spawn to either in front of this bush or rear of the bush or obviously inside the house. Now, when you've got a full 9v9, it'll most likely put enemies directly in his line of sight. Now, let's continue. Let's watch how long he sits here for. So, he goes to now peek back on the left-hand side to try and catch people pushing off spawn. Now, what did I just say? He's using the peek function. He's looking directly at the spawn. But because his feet are planted in that box, the game doesn't register that he can see in front of that bush. So, he's abusing the peek function to spawn camp. Against the rules. 100%. He was hoping to catch someone spawning behind that bush. Or someone stepping out like that guy did.
We have the enemy flag.
Alright, flag's gone past him. He's still in the house. He doesn't fall back through the main door and follow his flag carrier. He pushes into the spawn further. You can see where the flag is. It's about to be capped and he's only just gotten back to midway. He's already broken his own rules.
Enemy flag captured.
And again, all because he's only focusing on kills. And I'll prove this later on in the video when we look at the scoreboard. Again, watching for spawn.
Cobra standing by.
Again, not playing objective, playing for kills.
Friendly Cobra inbound. SR-71 ready for launch.
Nothing wrong with his kills there. Killed the first guy when he sighted. He strafe jumped in front of the doorway in the event there was going to be an enemy inside to make himself harder to hit. Off hip fire. It was not hacking, guys. It was accurate. Again, heard the grenade, looked left. Perfect sense.
Enemy flag acquired. Dogs waiting for your mark.
Now, the problem he's going to have here is he sustained enough damage that if he takes a fall, he will die.
Enemy flag.
So, that was actually smart what he did, because what he could have done was a couple of things there. He's jumped because that's higher than the standard ground in the hopes that he'd survive, which he did in this case. He could have also caught the ledge. El Magi still kills him. I end up killing El Magi.
Dropped.
Pretty sure that was Snow picking up the flag. He consistently plays the objective Snow.
Dogs waiting on your go. Dogs incoming. Arrest 71 in the air.
Standard. Kills the teammate. So, let me just read.
71 in the air.
So, I brought up scoreboard earlier. See all the purple hearts to the right of their ranks? That means they're dead guys. If you didn't know this, you should utilize this, especially playing an objective-based game like this. Especially when you pick up a flag. Have a quick look at the scoreboard if you're feeling confident enough, if you don't think there's enemies present. See how many are alive. Then make your decision on which way you're going to go. He probably should have made that kill. Again, must have got distracted. Made no sense that he didn't actually kill that player. I think in this instance, because you can see the friendly in the kitchen, he was probably trusting that that friendly was going to shoot that player so that he could continue to the flag. Again, you see that spot where I flash the guy over the rooftop and go down the left and shoot him. And again, this footage would look much different if you were actually seeing it live from Rob's perspective. He would have been cycling death cams. He would have been seeing where people are, even with the SR up. He would have been utilizing audio no differently to what I do.
Enemy flag acquired.
I picked up the flag. So, similar. He's gone to flash front of garage and flash the left-hand side. Makes sense. At this point, we can see there is only the guy left in the garage alive, as noted earlier. Now this I have a problem with. Everyone else is falling back. What's he doing? He's positioning to hit people coming immediately off spawn with an SR up. Again, I don't think this is within the rules in this instance. This is just being kill hungry.
We've captured the enemy flag. Good job, team. Get ready for the next round.
And again, he abused the fact that he knew the flag was likely going to be capped while doing it, but still did it anyway. Again, not the right example for someone in his position.
Switching sides. Hardcore capture the flag. Capture the objectives.
So again, see how not only naded to potentially blow up the vehicle, but again, I assume he's using flashes or concussions. You get the hit markers, you know someone's in that proximity, you know the map well enough. Again, without seeing what he's going to do next, he could immediately strafe jump out to pre-aim down the side of the house. He could still push up as standard to the bus and pre-aim around there, or strafe jump when he's closer. Now, again, with the amount of grenades that have gone off and he got a grenade kill, he's trusting that he's killed anyone who would have been on the left-hand side. He can see there's Nova gas on the right, even though he went to prioritize the front door. Again, makes sense, he's probably just going to keep pushing through towards the flag. Peeks left for the door. See how he strafe jumped out to anticipate if there'd be enemies in the kitchen looking out. He's looked upstairs immediately after. Again, all sensible.
Flag acquired.
Unfortunately, he gets done over by the spawn. And that's me dying past the stairs to Milk's drop shot. How good's my memory, guys? I clearly know what's going on. Bad things are happening. So, you're going to see here, he's going to constantly hold this position mid. Now, as I said earlier, he's pushed into the spawn. Is he going to follow through up the stairs and out the back to the flag? No. He's going to climb off, cover his ass. Now he's jumped out, he's looked straight towards the spawn. You know there's a spawn in that corner. If he sits further back to his left, he'll be able to manipulate that spawn so that he's not got full vision, but he'll be able to see the top of their heads when they spawn. He can also then peek off the other side and shoot the people at the fence when they spawn in. Fortunately, Rob doubles back, kills him up there before he can start spawn camping and effectively spawn patrolling from that position. Reminder, that is against the rules. How many instances have we seen of this? Multiple so far. But again, per the additional rules on the server, you're not allowed to quote-unquote whinge. So therefore, you can't call this behaviour out. So again, the people with the admin access, the people who are supposed to enforce the rules, cannot be held accountable to the rules.
We have the enemy flag.
Rob just cleaned everyone up. Okay, immediately spawns. Again, would have been able to deduce roughly where the flag carrier was from death cams. Nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing suspicious.
Has been dropped. Our flag has been returned.
Now, we just caught breakfast doing the similar thing. Holding that spot, waiting for people to push out. I don't agree with that. I think that's against the rules, even on a small map like this. Again, people can take 2 to 3 steps off a spawn and get shot when people are in that position. And that's me trying to turn around and shoot at him, realizing he's there and completely missing him.
They dropped our flag.
So again, him strafe jumping out like that and firing, nothing suspicious, guys. He's probably identified from death cams and the audio that he could get off the other friendly players that the enemy was most likely going to be in that position.
Our flag has been returned. Enemy flag acquired.
Alright, I've got the flag at this point. Yeah, I would pull back from there. I wouldn't just sit there. He dies for his trouble anyway. But again, him not effectively covering then, I died. Maybe if he hadn't held that position and had moved to the middle, let's say around bus and truck, and covered the people pushing up, we could have probably killed most of the attackers in and potentially sealed that cap. So because he died close to that fence, see how he's immediately throwing a flash or a concussion forward of the bus? Makes sense. Has a black jacket. Again, that was me to the right of him at the truck. He's killed that guy while I'm flashed.
Our spy plane's in the air.
Again, you see me once again. I'm pushing up. I'm playing the objective. I'm not holding, trying to get kills.
The enemy has taken our flag.
Spawn.
They dropped our flag.
Here in a second, I would think. Nope. Not something else.
We have the enemy flag.
That'll be me. Covers me better this time. So again, when I get halfway, I check the scoreboard, see who's dead or alive, and then I'll swap to my secondary, sprint across, grab the flag, and I'll trust Rob here to cover me.
Napalm strike coming in. Our flag has been restored. Enemy flag captured.
Now, who thinks that was suspicious? But let's pull it back.
Our flag has been restored. Enemy flag captured.
Now, yes, that might be deemed suspicious. However, where he's shooting through there is at a spawn. And what happens is he kills the first person, and then the spawn wave resets, and unfortunately for the next person, they spawn right there. And it wouldn't surprise me if Billy ends up, or Bad Boy, also known as Billy, probably chooses to leave the server after that because he's just going to assume, oh, Rob fucking hacked. No, he didn't. He just paid attention to the spawn wave.
Cobra standing by. SR-71 ready for deployment. SR-71 online.
Now, I don't agree with still sitting there once you've got an SR up and not playing the objective. Anyhow, let's continue.
Cobra on the way. Enemy flag acquired.
Now, funny part here, this grenade will kill someone, but it'll actually roll into Billy and kill him.
We dropped the flag. They returned their flag.
Again, SR's up, and you did visibly see that player.
Dogs waiting for your mark. Dogs incoming. Enemy flag acquired.
Oh, sorry. Now again, SR's up. There are 3 people alive, 2 facing towards mid. Rob will naturally be cycling the death cams, getting information, getting intel on where people could be, what's about to happen. Again, flashes over, knows there's going to be likely enemies there, plus the SR affirms that. If you didn't know, yes, if you get the angle right there, you can shoot people through on that spawn, especially if they back up into their half of the map. So again, he's pre-firing there in the event, say if someone spawns in that little nook and they step out and go to run back towards their flag, or if someone potentially positions to the further rear of their flag, you can always hit people through there.
Enemy flag acquired.
So I was mistaken earlier. That guy wasn't actually at bunker. He was in that left corner, which is why I didn't see he was there.
Enemy default flag inbound. We dropped the flag. We have the enemy flag. We dropped the flag.
No, he wasn't hacking, guys. You do visibly see that player. Let me back it up.
We dropped the flag.
It makes sense to look up because he heard gunshots. Saw the player's head, kills him clean. Now, second he heard that Semtex, he would have surmised the spawn wave had begun. That's why he's done what he's done there. Nothing suspicious. Alright, so to summarize, look at the scoreboard. Now, when you're playing Capture the Flag, you get 100 points per kill, right? You also get points for captures, returns, and picking up the flag. Now, look at Rob's score. 45 kills should be 4,500. 1 return, he'll get more points for that. And he's picked up the flag as well. Look at my points. I'm at 24 for 12, so 2,400 off kills. I've got 2 caps and a return, plus multiple flag pickups. That is why my points are typically consistently higher than everyone else for my kill ratio, because I play the objective. Ergo, I follow the fucking rules. So again, 1, the footage clearly indicates I didn't hack. 2, I consistently play the objective and follow the server rules. 3, this video gives repeat and clear evidence that Rob not only doesn't follow his rules, but doesn't enforce them consistently, doesn't hold himself to account either. That said, when I share this video with RoC members, I'd like to expect that my ban on this account of mine, SpectreOfQuetta, should be removed. The evidence is very clear. If you disagree, I'm more than happy to share the file share video with you so you can look at the game file and check for yourself. Thank you.